This is Sybert signing into Kane's Wrath. On the map, Atacama Road. I always love seeing this map. It's got such a cool aesthetic. It's got so many cool doodads and extra models and what have you. Anyways, we are not here to just admire this map. We are here to check out this game, and it looks like it's already getting started, getting spicy up here in the north as the yellow Scrin. This is Senna! And way down in the south, on the other end of the Atacama Road, this, as the pink-black hand, is MasterLeaf! Black hand versus Scrin, but hey now, we got ourselves some descents going on over here at the left side of the map. Not something you always see from Scrin openers. Of course, the classic thing was to do this as Traveler 59, but this is, I don't know, 5 or maybe 4, yeah, 5 descent squads that are going to be seen by this Cabal squad here on the left side of the map. By the way, real quick, this is release 16. This is not release 15, so relatively recent, and there is going to be a little bit of a confusion grenade thrown out by the Confessor Cabal, and minor damage to the descent, so that can go a little bit haywire, but in this case, it is not much of a problem. What is the actual confusion? Hallucinogenic grenade. So a little bit of a hallucinogenic byproduct there that you attack your friends. Meanwhile, 3 bikes on the right side going to be heading up for MasterLeaf. He's going to find some undefended harvesters. So this is going to be a nice target for him. Not necessarily going to get any kills. We'll have to see. There's no Seeker Tank popping on out. You would think a Seeker Tank would have come out a little bit sooner than this. But the first one is now out, and the Harvester will go down, although he will trade out at least 1 bike for it, maybe 2 bikes, and get no more Harvesters. But that first Harvester kill is absolutely great. MasterLeaf now going to be pulling back his own Harvesters, forced to sell off a refinery and a power plant to try and keep his Harvesters alive. Blow for blow, strike for strike, but the Harvesters survive. This will indeed delay MasterLeaf's expansion out to his natural by quite a bit, having to drop an additional refinery, but honestly, it might be worth moving the MCV and placing the refinery on the other side. In this case, it looks like MasterLeaf is just going for the refinery, and I'm sure he knows best, so we will leave it to him to place that refinery and then move his MCV after the fact. And of course, he has converted his field into a parking lot. Look at that. He's already pulled off one of his harvesters to get repairs, but also I assume to be closer to his second refinery location. Meanwhile, in the north, the bike is scouting out exactly what the timing and the location of that drone ship is for Senna. So he's going to see, hey, what's going on? What exactly is your plan here? And of course, nothing too strange is the plan for Senna. MasterLeaf re-drops that power plant, and I assume is going to move his MCV. He hasn't actually packed it up just yet. He's getting out something else first, so another slight delay to his expansion. Meanwhile, an additional portal, a first refinery on the natural expansion, already up and running for Senna. A buggy runs through the base of Senna, or runs near the base of Senna, and sees exactly what he is doing. MasterLeaf going to be losing 1 buggy, maybe 2 buggies to these descents and these gunwalkers, but he's going to be picking off the descents, and I guess that is his goal. The Seeker Tank and the gunwalker going to be a little bit harder for those buggies to kill, and MasterLeaf, for some reason, decides to sacrifice 1 buggy and send it forward to die. Single Seeker Tank going to be scouting MasterLeaf's base, and he sees the secret shrine. He sees the ops center. He gets a full read on what MasterLeaf is up to. He also sees, hey, there's no natural expansion. He sees the flame tanks coming on out. 2 flame tanks heading their way across the map by MasterLeaf to try and disrupt Senna. And hey, when your expansion is this far behind the timing of your opponent, pulling something out of the bag that they may not expect can be a great way to even the odds and to mix things up. In this case, Senna spotted it very far in advance. He's moving to intercept, and it's going to be flame tanks and buggies to try and find a way through the opponent's defenses. I swear they're... Yeah, okay, we got at least 4 flame tanks. Now only 3 as one of them gets cleaned up, but they did get split up. One heading to the natural expansion, the other 2 kind of circling around the left side and dealing with the seeker tanks and the gunwalkers there in the middle of the map and over towards the left side. A single photon cannon is here to defend against this flame tank, which maybe has avoided detection all the way out there on the right edge of the map. Nope, the seeker tanks are there. Senna jumps on it. He gets the catch and potentially even the kill, but he's going to be splitting up Senna's attention. 1 power plant down. You want more damage than that. A second power plant going down. No, he's going right for the refinery. A good choice, and the dev tanks are too slow to respond. The warp sphere goes down. The refinery goes down. That's some value that we're talking about as another flame tank on the left side gets cleaned up. Buggies and flame tanks mixed together to try and clean up this base. Goodbye refinery, goodbye flame tank, as MasterLeaf gets the purifying flame upgrade. Not something you see very often, but it causes so much chaos, so much damage to his opponent while getting his own natural expansion up and running that things might have even kind of equalized. Senna does need to go ahead and rotate out some of these harvesters. Killing off that last refinery would have been great for MasterLeaf, but it's just not quite meant to be. He wasn't quite able to make it happen. We do see an additional flame tank here on the south side of this little crater in the middle. Going to be heading out, and we'll have to see, do the Storm Riders, do the Gunwalkers manage to stop that. The first Mantis is out, the first Storm Rider goes down, and these flame tanks have been spotted. It gets cleaned up, or at least pushed back here on the left side of the map, and the Mantis is going to try and come to its rescue. Dev tanks, seeker tanks, gunwalkers, all mixed together. They're in the middle of the map for Senna, who probably needs to start thinking about where he wants his third base to be, as he has also got a bit of a parking lot going on with those refineries. Having a hard time getting to those ideal harvester refinery numbers and then keeping them alive in this particular game with how frenetic it has been and how somewhat chaotic it has been even from the beginning. Flame Tank is apparently going to try and just take on this entire Scrin army, which might be a little bit of an oversight there from MasterLeaf. I think that guy was just rallied and he didn't quite realize it, but at the same time, he manages to escape with the life of that Flame Tank, and now protected against the sky, not necessarily protected against gunwalkers and seeker tanks, but I guess goodbye extractor, goodbye warp sphere, as that war factory is almost certainly, it's not quite going to go down, but it'll be close. No, it does go down. The flame tank just barely gets the kill. Another war factory offline. Senna has built up quite an army in terms of numbers, but I don't know if he has enough to really walk across the map and kill MasterLeaf outright. MasterLeaf's defense is usually better than that. He might be able to do some damage, kill off some tip spikes or something like that with his gunwalker, seeker tank descent army, but I think he doesn't necessarily want to sit back on this natural expansion with his very limited production and just hold right here infrastructure-wise. He probably wants to start getting that third base up and running, rocking and rolling. And actually a dev tank and a seeker tank on the left side of the map going to be getting caught out in the open. Two flame tanks clean them up. And of course the flame tanks themselves not going to be able to escape. No Mantis here to destroy the Storm Riders, and that seeker tank with the force field is just a little bit too much for MasterLeaf's flame tanks. Good on Senna. He's been trying to steal this blue Tiberium in the middle of the map. A couple of loads have been successful, but MasterLeaf is now trying to chase him away, and Senna may be going for this third field location, that third base over there on the right side. No, he's going to continue to just sit at his natural expansion. He's going for the Eradicator Hexapod, and now this is the defense that I'm talking about. Where is MasterLeaf going to... How is MasterLeaf going to stop this army? Well, one answer is that Purifier just stomps on everything, and that may actually be enough of an answer. A Purifier walking around these buildings, getting constant repairs near this war factory, may be enough to hold off this army. And no Storm Riders and not a lot of dev tanks mixed into that army. Senna now moving out to the left side of the map. He's got Devastator warships. He has got an Eradicator Hexapod. Hey, even some shock troopers mixed in here as well, and his drone ship is heading to the left. Flame Tank is now going to sneak by the defenses of Senna. Nothing here to stop it, but there is, as MasterLeaf calls it, a Scrin super weapon. the stasis chamber, locking down that flame tank and just holding it completely still while the corruptors get up close and personal, and the seeker tanks, no, actually not seeker tanks, technically it's Devastator warships, which is a curious case of response to a flame tank. And goodbye, flame tank. That guy narrowly avoids all of the Devastator warship discs. Of course, everything else will eventually clean up that one flame tank. And this Mantis he is skateboarding all over the place. He is going to find an opportunity to blast that Devastator warship, but he is not going to do much more than just a single volley of rockets. All right, MasterLeaf is up to his own Redeemer. He's got his Purifiers out on the field as well. He has got some Mantises running around. MasterLeaf also not taking a third base at this point, and actually Senna just long-distance harvesting, kind of making it work. Going to be also long-distance harvesting from both third fields at the same time. Another flame tank sneaks by the defenses of Senna, and this time there truly might be nothing here to stop it. He's going to get a refinery. He's going to get power plants as well, perhaps even a critical amount of infrastructure, or these buzzers are barely going to get the kill along with that photon cannon. Goodbye, additional power plant almost goes down, but just barely. Senna manages to keep it around. The Eradicator Hexapod still at full health with those corruptors constantly healing it up. Purifier running around on the right side of the map. Another Mantis gets cleaned up here in the north. MasterLeaf just constantly with these flame tanks, with those Mantises heading around the map, trying to make something happen, and it's kind of working. He's burned down so much of the infrastructure of Senna. At the same time, Senna doesn't need that infrastructure right this moment, but as the game goes on, having those refineries back at your starting locations, having a little bit of a tech behind your front lines is nice to have. Yet another flame tank goes down, this time 3 dev tanks manage to catch it. Once again, if MasterLeaf executes this dance correctly, this one Purifier will be fine against this army. Maybe if everything jumped on it, the dev tanks could do some good damage, but I mean, one of them is already at half health, so that's just a shot or two away from death. MasterLeaf going to be chasing down that army, looking to close the distance, either for some stompy good times or to use that flame to blast away. And, oh, well, dev tanks are going to push it back. Decides not to continue with that pursuit anymore, and now the dev tanks are actually just getting free shots off at that Purifier, which is not what MasterLeaf wants. He's going to be able to draw this army into some rocket fire, though, which is always nice. Could even sell off the Hand of Nod to try and go for the ball crush damage. EMP Raider Buggy's going to be pushing forward. There's the EMP to lock down the Hexapod once. Are there enough rocket squads here to clean up that Hexapod and really do some damage? Keep in mind, this is Scrin, so we don't have the same teleport abilities with this Eradicator Hexapod as we do if it's Traveler 59, and there's the phase to try and keep that guy alive. But I guess the phase EMP thing got fixed, or doesn't work like it used to, because that guy is not phased, and that Eradicator Hexapod is dead. I think you weren't supposed to be able to phase stuff while they were EMP'd, but it would sometimes work in 1.02. I don't actually remember what exactly the rule set was with the phase and the EMP. But, ooh, this is not good. Senna going to be throwing away these forces. The Obelisk is a powerful thing for these weak Scrin units to try and take down, especially when it's got a barracks body blocking for it. So you have to chew through the barracks first while the Obelisk is punching you right in the face. And MasterLeaf, unfortunately, they're just killing his own guys because of the RNG on the ball dropping from the Hand of Nod. MCV now here on the right side, and he's like, why is there only half a Tiberium field here on the right side of the map? This is my third base, and I got only half a Tiberium field to harvest from. Meanwhile, Senna has been long-distance harvesting the entirety of this field, the entire of the first half of that field, and he's got, while it is still long distance, a refinery here on the left side, slowly but surely harvesting up that third field as well. Senna really needs to reestablish a refinery back home, and he actually does have several harvesters all lined up, once again parking lot style, just waiting to unload that Tiberium. A lot of tripods here on the right side of the map, but it looks like Senna says, nope, this is not my time to engage. I am not going to try and take on that base and that army right now. I'm going to wait at least a little while longer, and once again, a flame tank busting through. He kills off the tier 3. I believe the Eradicator Hexapod already was produced. It's already out, throwing out its screams and its cries, and goodbye buildings as that fully heroic stealth tank. If only he wasn't Black Hand and he could stealth that flame tank, fully heroic flame tank rather, and then make it stealth, but of course Black Hand, none of those stealth abilities. Rage Gen most likely already fired off as this Redeemer retreats from the front line. Even a fully heroic rocket squad throwing in a couple of blasts at those units, and oh, this poor flame tank. What a mismatch. Although, with how the discs land, the Eradicator Hexapod actually wasn't able to kill off that flame tank. And the funny thing is, the heroic flame tank has enough of a speed boost that it can drive backwards and escape the Eradicator Hexapod. Run! Run, heroic flame tank, run! Okay, he does survive. I so want to see that heroic flame tank go stealth, even though he's Black Hand, and just absolutely wreck those of you who saw that game. I think it was on Tournament Stadium, with just some absolutely great heroic stealth tank control. It's so frustrating to play against, so fun to execute, and so fun to watch as two Mantises explode somewhat pointlessly right there. As Senna potentially rewraps his army and moves over to the right side, there may actually be an opportunity on the left side of the map for MasterLeaf to sneak in and burn down just about everything. There's one tripod over there on the left side of the map, and this is something that every player in every RTS game has to try and manage, is where is your army? How much do you split it up? How much do you keep units at home to defend against drops or sneak attacks or whatever? And in this case, the answer is there is not much army back home. But of course, once this flame tank goes deep onto enemy territory, it is going to be easy for Senna to clean this guy up. But goodbye, Warpgasm! Oh my gosh, it dies so quickly to a fully heroic flame tank. Everything dies so quickly to a fully heroic purifying flame tank. That was just absolutely insane DPS from that flame tank. Two harvesters going to be able to escape away for MasterLeaf. He is not going to be harmed too much by that lone gunwalker firing away at them. Although, okay, it's just a Devastator warship taking a random shot at that harvester. No real threat to it. Eradicator Hexapod still here on the map, or rather back on the map after having been rebuilt. It has all three of its units, all six, whatever is the number. I think 3 shock troopers in there, as they are going to be giving extra DPS to that Eradicator Hexapod, and also the ability to shoot down aircraft, which is always nice. A single tripod here on the left side of the map, stomping away at those infantry, as I think MasterLeaf is now going to try and establish himself over there. As MCB was heading over here, it is indeed there, ready to set up and get rocking and rolling with his expansion there on the left side of the map. And eventually, Senna has now set himself up on the right side of the map, rebuilding a war factory, rebuilding his airfield there on the right side of the map, and actually going to be going for the crush of the infantry. And hey, the tripod was about to die anyways. You might as well phase it and get as much damage done as you can, even if it won't survive hardly 1 second after it unphases. MasterLeaf pulls back his infantry army on the right side. I'm surprised we haven't seen any flame tanks busting through Senna's main base defenses in the last minute or two. Phase, I assume, is about to wear off on this tripod. Surely it can't last too much longer, and the rockets do clean it up, so there's a husk potentially for MasterLeaf to claim. EMPs fire off, but the Raider buggies all go down. There isn't enough DPS to kill the Eradicator Hexapod just yet, but this next EMP, can MasterLeaf start to chain things? Great Corruptor snipe, utilizing that Tib Catalyst missile, and now he's going to put big damage on the Eradicator Hexapod. And of course, once the Eradicator Hexapod un-EMPs, it's going to try and turn tail and run, which is just going to do even more damage. No, he doesn't try and run. He's going to get as much value as he can, which isn't a whole lot. Goodbye, Eradicator Hexapod. Devastator warships forced to turn around, and Senna won't be winning the fight on the right side. MasterLeaf now establishing his third base, possibly for the like in a permanent sense, Senna semi-permanently established on the right side, but no refineries close to that Tiberium. He makes me a liar, dropping one just there. As I say, it would be nice for him to get 2 refineries up and running on that field, but I'm not actually sure how much cash he has in the bank at the current moment. He does have quite an army, so he doesn't necessarily need to drop a ton more cash on the army in the next minute. He could delay that, get out an extra refinery, and really start harvesting away at this 3rd field. MasterLeaf, on the other hand, at this point, it's almost worth dropping a 2nd refinery here, or maybe dropping Seed Tiberium and transferring like 2 more harvesters over there, something like that. Warp Chasm gets established, re-established, I think, at this point. And I am assuming another Eradicator Hexapod is on the way for Senna. MasterLeaf at this point really should have cleaned up these Tib Spikes by now, or even just captured them for himself, which could be what this Hand of Nod is for. No, it's for more rocket squads. He did grab this tripod, so MasterLeaf he produced an engineer, and oh no, this flame tank! Like so many of your brethren, not doing all that much, but going out in a glorious ball of flames for us to enjoy. The animation on so many of the units in Tib Wars and Kane's Wrath is so great, but like the flame tanks, they've got such a good look, they've got such a good death animation. It's just like the flames look sick in this game, especially for this game being 2007, 2008. I mean, sheesh, 14, 13 years ago. The game looks absolutely phenomenal, even on modern hardware. And part of that is, you know, things being upgraded. Leafy's 4K mod, his HD texture mod, but it's just also like a good-looking game at the core. Well, I guess these Devastator warships... Oh my gosh! Okay, so this is one of those things where if I'm controlling these Mantises, they just stay in one spot and they die. If MasterLeaf is controlling them, they kill 2 Devastator warships and take almost no damage on themselves. Like, that's just MasterLeaf being good at unit control. That's not the Mantis being necessarily OP or Black Hand being broken or something. That's just MasterLeaf being better at unit control than I am. Uh-oh, is this going to be another Corruptor snipe? The hallucinated army. Nah, I guess not. I thought he was doing that for scouting, for a little bit more vision, but no, I guess not. Phase activates on the tripods on the left side. Still, these 2 Tib Spikes ticking away. We're at, I don't know, like the 22-minute mark, something like that. So, what is 20 credits a second times 22 minutes, or I guess maybe like 18 minutes? But that adds up to be a lot of cash. 6 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock just about for that nuke, as MasterLeaf is looking to end the game, or at least do some pretty big damage to his opponents. EMP almost fires off, but it doesn't quite land. The EMP has kind of a long animation, and it's sort of towards the end of that animation that it actually takes effect and locks down the units, and so you can blast them at just the right time. And the EMP kind of looks like it went off, but it actually didn't go off. Double army split across the map, a Redeemer and a bunch of rocket squads on one side versus the other side, which is a couple of Purifiers and a tripod. And this is going to be something that Senna has to deal with. Again, we've talked about splitting your army and how you do it. In this case, it's all in on one side. It's going to be a base race for Senna, and he is just going to push down the right side of the map, and with nothing to defend on the left side. So Senna has been putting up a great fight throughout this game, but never mind. He just backs up. He backs up, he backs off, and he is heading back home. I don't know if that is the right call to make. No, he does turn around again. A couple of Mantises come forward. They're going to be able to get a kill on one Devastator warship before being annihilated by the Eradicator Hexapod and the tripods as they step on forward. Senna is going to be racing the clock, but MasterLeaf is going to be doing the same thing. Who has the better third base location? It's hard to tell. It might be MasterLeaf. Senna has all kinds of infrastructure here, but MasterLeaf might have the better setup. There's the defense. Senna's continuing to push forward into the base of MasterLeaf. He's got tripods, he's got corruptors, but he needs to deal with these EMP Raider buggies, and he can deal with them with the tripods. Devastator warships doing good damage, but they themselves are being devastated as the Mantises come in and pick them off. The Eradicator Hexapod not doing a lot of damage. It's given him MasterLeaf enough time to respond as he's going to be able to now put out so much rocket damage as the stasis chamber locks down a chunk of the rockets, but then not the Obelisk, not the Purifier, as goodbye Eradicator Hexapod for the umpteenth time in this game. Senna has defended his base and defended it well from an unending stream of attacks coming from MasterLeaf. He has not been able to kill MasterLeaf, and MasterLeaf has not been able to kill them. This has been a ring around the rosy type game. Left side, right side, not so much through the middle, but a lot of split attacks, a lot of little bits here and there, tit for tat kind of stuff. But this is so many tripods on the left side. This is so much firepower to burn down this base. The Temple of Nod has 4 minutes left and almost no way to survive against... Never mind, the tripod army just turns around. That's just it. Senna says, oh no, another flame tank. MasterLeaf cutting down the infrastructure of his opponent. He's not quite gonna get there with that lightning spike blasting away at him, striking him down, as it looks like Purifiers, a couple of rocket squads, and a Redeemer now going to be heading into the main base of Senna, and Senna has kind of waffled left and right, unsure of where he wants to attack, unsure of what he wants to do as the Rage Gen fires off. The Devastator warships get absolutely destroyed. The rockets putting out so much damage, and that Devastator warship watching his friends fall. He himself has survived for at least a moment longer. EMP Raider buggies locking down the Eradicator Hexapod, but not enough damage output to actually deal with it. The Tripod Army has made its way back to the right side of the map, and this one Devastator warship has indeed survived the onslaught, survived the slaughter of his friends. This game, it feels like it's coming so close to an end so many times, and these guys just turn their armies around. They back up from the front line, they stop the push, and they go somewhere else, and they are both so timid about trying to end this game because they themselves are so close to being killed off by the other guy. And this is one of those situations where, as a commenter, as an observer, you have a very different perspective than playing the game. In this situation, the timidness, the turnaround, the unwillingness to commit to the attacks is definitely more understandable. Finally, these Tib spikes are going down, one now and then the other. 25 minutes into the game or something like that, and they finally do get eliminated. The last refinery gets cleaned up, and this flame tank is not long for this world. So those Tib spikes brought in so much cash for Senna over the course of this game, definitely helping to supplement his income when it was a little bit dodgy, when he was doing all of that long-distance harvesting with inefficient refinery placements. I mean, even now, he doesn't necessarily have a lot of cash sitting in these harvesters. Actually, 2 of them are completely full. But he doesn't necessarily have a lot of cash in these harvesters, but he's got so many of them lined up outside of this one refinery. And he has done a pretty good job of keeping these fields from getting too crazy with the regrow. Although, on the topic of Tib fields regrowing, I know MasterLeaf did some analysis recently on whether or not it's better to constantly harvest a Tib field or to let it regrow. I think it's better to let it regrow. Like, if you look at the amount of Tiberium you get over, say, 6 minutes of constant harvesting, you get less than if you let it regrow and then you harvest it quickly. So, but, you know, whether or not you let it regrow or you harvest it continuously is kind of up to the player to decide which one is more beneficial. A bigger benefit in the future or an immediate benefit now at a lower overall percentage. And sometimes you need the cash right now, and then sometimes you're like, I'll come back to this in a couple of minutes. I'm going to focus over here on the right side. I'm going to focus over here on the left side, and then I'm going to come back around to that other area in 5 to 10 minutes when it will be more beneficial. And I don't know that these two guys are necessarily thinking about that directly, but it's probably in the back of their mind one way or another. Yet another flame tank going down. MasterLeaf has built so many flame tanks that they're almost going to supplant the rocket squad as his favorite unit in the end game graph. I think the rocket squads will still beat out the flame tanks, but it will be close. It'll be a close second for those flame tanks. Senna now with loads of full Tiberium, but only 2 refineries here to unload all of these harvesters at. And this long-distance harvesting is actually creating still parking lots for these harvesters. And at this point, the tib spikes have been destroyed. It's just about managing these tib fields. Devastator warship and a couple of tripods. This is the same, one of these might be the same Devastator warship from earlier on in this game, but the Mantises are going to be able to clean up one Devastator warship very easily. Rage Gen does fire off. I'm not exactly sure from where. It's over here with the Eradicator Hexapod to distract that and to keep the Redeemer alive for a little bit longer. Once again, Senna's army escapes away from the power of MasterLeaf. The rocket squads, the Mantises, the Purifier, the stolen tripod, they probably could have taken that army if they could have just closed the distance. But they were unable to. MasterLeaf now going to be moving out on the right side, on the left side. We've seen this so many times, but this time it's different. Maybe with the nuke here, he can finally make something happen. We'll have to see exactly where he decides to use that. In come the tripods. This seems like a juicy spot for a nuke. MasterLeaf closing, and goodbye tripods as the Eradicator Hexapod taking so much damage, and MasterLeaf crushing through the front line of Senna. There's the stasis chamber locking down all of those units, but 3, maybe 4 tripod husks will remain at the end of this if one player can claim them. The Redeemer is just outside of that stasis. The Devastator warships flying over top, somewhat unharmed, as all of the rocket squads are inside of that stasis. But as soon as this army comes back online, MasterLeaf might just be able to crush through Senna. No, more reinforcements. This is so much reinforcements from Senna. Is he going to be able to push this back? That was almost as many tripods in reinforcements as he had on the front line supporting his Eradicator Hexapod. And in this case, MasterLeaf won't be able to totally stop this army. It's going to get scrappy as both players have so little left and there's so many husks on the ground potentially to be reclaimed. But who will actually be able to get them? MasterLeaf or Senna? The answer so far is Senna. He's going to be able to grab those tripods. There's still 6 tripods, 5 tripods on the field as Senna claims more and more of these husks. He actually got, like, such a big tripod army, even though much of it wasn't on the front lines. He got so many tripods out in this game. All right, Senna is reforming his front line. He's got fresh tripods here with their 2/3 health, but with their full force fields. And let's see if he's able to actually make this work. The nuke was on the side of MasterLeaf, but it didn't actually help him, and the Eradicator Hexapod has been rebuilt. Senna managing to sneak out another Eradicator Hexapod. So many have been constructed. Meanwhile, I think this is still like the first Redeemer, maybe the second Redeemer for MasterLeaf. The tripods step away. The Eradicator Hexapod steps forward. MasterLeaf cuts through the middle of the map. The Purifiers are going to be going for just the kill on the infrastructure. There's the Rage Gen. There's the turnaround as Senna looks to defend his base rather than finish off MasterLeaf and fight him in the open. Purifier going for the kill of this reactor, or of this refinery rather, and also going for the kill of that warp chasm. So no more Eradicator Hexapods just yet. There is still the tier 3. There is still 1 refinery left. Senna, the world is getting smaller for him, but he's still hanging on. MasterLeaf just simply unable to close out this game. He nuked the army. He had the flame tanks, and he has not been able to clean up this match. Another tripod, or another avatar, will be claimed by the likes of Senna. Perhaps even his first Purifier. I think the rest of the husks ended up getting destroyed by MasterLeaf. Senna recapturing those husks, definitely revitalizing his army, giving him a lot of extra firepower. Once again, the Eradicator Hexapod steps forward, gets EMP'd, gets phased, and it's going to try and go for the stompy stomp of maybe the Harvesters or maybe the infantry. He's going deep into enemy territory. Nope, he decides to turn around, make use of the phase by just getting on out of dodge. I think the Rage Gen was already used, so that Eradicator Hexapod may just slowly but surely walk itself back home and just hang out with its friends. Tripods cutting through the middle of the map. 2 more flame tanks from MasterLeaf. The name of the game for MasterLeaf is Flame is Best. Unfortunately for him, tripods, a purifier, and even a corruptor are going to be here waiting for these flame tanks. They will do virtually nothing, although 3 tripods being given away to MasterLeaf here on the left side of the map. The gifts are not equal. The flame tanks don't leave husks that Senna can capture. And Senna loses 3 tripods. Will he actually... Okay, MasterLeaf is going to claim them, it looks like. No, he stomps on one of them. Why would you do that? Why would you stomp on that tripod husk? The flame tank goes down. Somehow, this 2 minutes and 37 seconds on this clock has come to us once again. I mean, I can't believe we're going to potentially get 2 nukes in this game. What a crazy back and forth this has been on Atacama Road. It has a lot of the hallmarks of being like a stalemate-y game, and yet at the same time there have been so many engagements, so much action, so much fighting throughout this match that it feels like anything but a stalemate, even though in a lot of ways it feels like a stalemate. These 2 guys locked against each other, unable to really gain much ground, even with super weapons, even with epic units, just unable to break the other guy. And in one way or another, if either one of them gets their entire army together and just punches straight through, in the back of their mind, they're going to be thinking, well, wait, is the other guy just showing up with his army in the back of my base? Maybe it'll be just a single flame tank being or just run past all of the defenses, and for some reason, Senna did not see this or did not clear this guy up, which is kind of curious. Goodbye, refinery. Goodbye, tier 3. Goodbye, other refinery? Not actually sure what MasterLeaf is doing. He's just waiting for this tripod to come and kill him. He may be able to get the 2 power plants, clean those up at least, get some more value for that flame tank. And MasterLeaf, does he have the extra tripods? He's got 3 of them here on the front line. He's got a purifier as well. Samsite going to be going down, absorbing a little bit of damage there as a couple of more flame tanks heading through the middle of the map. At least 1 flame tank as the one in the north gets cleaned up. And MasterLeaf also going to be potentially losing a harvester there on the left side of the map. The Eradicator Hexpod steps forward. The EMP fires off. It barely catches the Eradicator Hexpod. And that is going to be some massive damage from the tripods, from the rocket squads. There's the repeat EMP, locking down the Eradicator Hexpod and once again sealing its fate as MasterLeaf crushes another Eradicator Hexapod. Another flame tank comes in. Even more rocket squads. Is 40 seconds on the clock with this nuke, but maybe MasterLeaf has finally done it just before his second nuke is ready to fire off. He's punching through the base defenses. He's punching through the front line of Senna. And this single tripod, maybe it'll stand up against the rocket squads. Maybe it'll get a kill on the nuke by itself, but I don't think it'll be able to end the game. MasterLeaf in a long, drawn-out... No, actually, the stasis chamber locks everything down. Senna closes the distance, and he's going to try and jump on top of this army. Once the stasis chamber deactivates, there's going to be 1 EMP on the side of Senna, 1 on the side of MasterLeaf as the Devastator warships close the distance. 1 second left. Is he going to fire the nuke immediately or try and hold it off? The Redeemer stands tall. Senna army has been defeated, and the Devastator warships are going to be the target. What a nuke, what a game, but the GG gets called and Senna has been defeated. What a match he played, putting up an absolute fight against MasterLeaf despite the situation, despite just the pure chaos almost from the very beginning. He put up an amazing defense, and he put up an amazing amount of perseverance to stick around in this game versus MasterLeaf. Look at that unit kill-to-death ratio, and of course the Militant Rocket Squad being favored by MasterLeaf, but actually the Devastator Warship, not a unit you see there under favorite unit very often at all, but man, look at that income difference between Senna. And of course, the majority of that is not the Tib spikes, but that is a lot of money difference. That is partially why MasterLeaf was unable to finish off the game for so long, is he was down almost 100,000 credits over the course of that game. 90,000 credits of difference between these two guys, and that started right there at the beginning of the game, just getting wider and wider over the course of the match. That will do it for this game. Action-packed pretty much from beginning to end. Some wonkiness, but also some coolness. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and this is Sybert, signing out.